Hello, randomized tubers, and welcome back to more Final Fantasy 1 Randomized with me, BlueAnkylo, because I just can't stop. Let me just balance that audio a little bit here. But yeah, so I know we just finished a randomized series, but I've learned that there's more randomization to be had, and that's going to be the target for today, is to show off a little bit more randomness. Oh, I should have updated, if you look at the right of the screen, those are not going to be correct today, because I don't know which 4 characters we're bringing, but I'll explain that shortly. First, before I start the actual Let's Play, I just want to show you something. While I was playing around, you can see the seed and the information below if you're interested. I found, it doesn't really matter who we bring right now, I'm just going to zip through this real quick. I found this seed, and I'm like, I was just testing out different flags on the randomizer, just testing out different generation schematics, just testing out different stuff, basically. And I'll just go through my thought process here. I'm like, okay, we can buy some weapons. Cool, Fire 2 staff, that's pretty darn good. We're off to a good start. Whether you bring mages or solo thieves, you'll be okay, probably. Not that we can afford it right now. And then I'm like, what else about armor? Or, yeah, armor. Oh, cool, Aegis and Opals, you know, not bad, not bad. That's pretty good gear. What about the magic, though? That's what everyone really cares about. White magic. Nothing special. Okay, what about black magic? Oh, I see. It's another nuke run. Well, this'll be easy, so I said to myself. Let's pick up nuke, go out and kill some imps, no big deal, get a couple level ups, just like last time, and then see how the random seed generates items for us and ships and stuff, all that. So let's just maybe speed this up. Oh look, a bunch of imps. Well, all you need to know is... Oh, also, this is a customized battle screen. I'm gonna go with this actually for the Let's Play, just to show off, but I'll explain that in a second. But anyway, let's go with nuke. Oh, wait, what? Imps have cremate? 50 to 100 damage to the whole party. Now, I'm not saying that this seed is unwinnable. Let me move the mic back a little bit here. Sorry. I'm not saying that this seed is completely impossible, but oh my freaking word, would that take a lot of resetting. Now, we're not playing this seed. Don't get your hopes up. This would just be a, well, it would be terrible. Anyway, well, hopefully the new seed is actually not just going to have cremating imps. But I guess my point, the reason I showed this off is to say, just because you start with nuke doesn't mean it's an easy run. And some of you saw my last Let's Play where we were pretty lucky, it felt like. We got nuke early on, we got lots of powerful abilities. Very few of the enemies had cremate or anything ridiculous like that. So just know that imps could be the end of you if you're not lucky, if you're really unlucky. Anyway, I'm just going to show off my flags for the actual series. So I've generated a new ROM, or I'm generating a new ROM, that is to say. So you can see the seed and the flags here. They'll be in-game in case you think I'm cheating or something. So let's just go over anything different. I still like the random weapons. I still don't like random magic shops, although it might be more balanced because level 1 nuke is a thing. This would at least say if you get level 1 nuke, it might not be in the first shop, or it probably wouldn't be. So you might have to sail to Elfland or Portland or Portland, Oregon, or whatever. We might have to go to a different shop to get even a level 1 nuke. So it's probably more balanced, but it's kind of, I don't like it. And then we're leaving that, but I have flags on. I've also turned on most of the enemy flags here, other than the potentially run-killing pirates, because unsafe pirates mean you could get 9 nuke pirates that can all cast nuke and you'd never win. Or probably never win anyway. But because I've turned all this other stuff on, the enemy scripts are shuffled, the unrunnable formations, instead of just the vanilla wizards are unrunnable, the wizard sea hag fight is unrunnable. You know, there's a bunch of traditional fights you can't run from. This will rotate those around. The surprises, also I think certain formations have surprise bonuses, and then like, remember the classic war mech fight on the top floor of the floating castle? It was like a 1 in 256 chance because it just had a very unlikely random formation. This will shuffle the frequency, so maybe you'll run into war mech a little more often. So I turned all those on because I think they're probably good. Maybe not for your first Final Fantasy 1 random run, but once you have the gist of it, this is all good stuff. I've basically got the same treasure set as last time. I've decided to go with an alternate boss fight, and I haven't really tested this out much yet. I don't know. There's 4 new final bosses, so we're going to see what we get. Theoretically, they could be more difficult than Chaos, but I don't really know. Chaos is kind of canonical and iconic is maybe the word I'm thinking of, but we're going to try that out to be different. We're not going to do the treasure hunts, although I have done this before. It just means instead of doing the 4 orbs, you have to find a bunch of treasure chests, depending on if you want extra or not. It's no big deal, but instead of going kill the 4 fiends, get the 4 orbs, go to the final boss, it sort of shortcuts that. And then the races just rush it a little bit more. You start with orbs, so I think you only... I haven't actually tested this out, but theoretically you can just, as fast as possible, get to Chaos, basically. And then I'm leaving open progression on. Now, last time we got the airship really quick. It's not guaranteed. I hope that my seed this time gives us a different path, just to show this off. But theoretically, we could start with a ship instead of an airship. Or we could start with the bridge again, or we could get the canoe again, but then the canoe could lead to the TNT, the canal, the ship, and then we'd have to go somewhere else to get the floater and the airship. So theoretically, this could go any way. It's just very often you get the floater right away in a canoe. But we'll see if we get a different random luck. I've left the scaling the same, except for forced party members. So one of the things that I've decided is, as long as you have Magic Shuffle, without Magic Shop Shuffle, your odds of starting the game with level 1, Fire 2, Ice 2, Lightning 2, Fire, Ice, Lightning 3, or Nuke, or Fade is incredibly high. You will almost always start with a level 1 spell that can wipe out the first half of the game. And if you add in level 1, 2, 3, and 4 magic, which are all pretty easy to get to, you've got like a 50-50 shot of Nuke or Fade, which you'll get before any significant bosses. So if you have this, you can just bring 3 red mages and the game is over, basically. So what I'm going to do... Well, I don't know exactly what we're going to get, but because you can basically create a party that will win no matter what, I'm going to go random party. We might not get a fighter. We might not get a black mage or a red mage. We might get 4 thieves, which would be great. But I don't know what we're going to get, which means we can't guaranteed have an easy path. It's possible, but we also might have a more difficult run, which is kind of what I'm looking for. And I turned off the convenience items again. I haven't added anything extra. Bug fixes, of course. And Modern Battlefield, that's the option that changes the battle screen. So instead of having the old school Final Fantasy 1 boxes, we're going with the open view, which I think is kind of neat. Plus, I wanted this second Let's Play of the same game to be slightly different. So we're going with that. Palette swap is okay, but it kind of makes everything look ugly, and I don't like that so much. So no palette swap. Fun enemy names, because why not? And that's it. So randomize the seed, you know the drill. Let me just copy this all over quick. Click there. Copy over, and then into... Switch the scenes for you guys. Not that one. This one. And then load up my new ROM. This one. Alright, so let's see what we get. This is it. We get a new party, randomized. This is like extra random version, basically. We'll go with... I almost always go with respawn rate 7, just because it gives us a little bit of a blink to read, especially when I'm on super speed. If you go on maximum, it's really fast, but if you're using frame skip as well, it can be too difficult to read the messages in battle, basically. So anyway, let's do this. So that's our party. Not optimal. Very little magic for most of the game. Double thief. How did I get double thief? Ay, ay, ay. So this is not what I was hoping for. But you get to see the 2 party members that weren't on the last group, so that's a plus. So we've gone from a mostly magic party to a basically no magic. The good news is we still get a fighter. The fighter will definitely carry the team. And the black belt, while kind of boring in terms of the randomizer, they don't really get gear or magic, it gives us a way of winning the game, because if you get to level 50 black belt, you win. There's nothing they can do. There's no guaranteed ninja fast magic, though, which isn't, like, in the vanilla, a thief to ninja always gets level 1 to 4 black magic, so they can go fast, and then double speed black belt at level 50 will one-shot chaos. So we're probably not going to do that. I'm just saying it's an option with this group. Or it would have been. I don't know what magic we'll get. But theoretically, we could still have a level 1 nuke, and eventually we would have nukes at the end of the game. So this is actually good. I wanted a more difficult run. This is totally good. So, again, I don't really have any names ready to go. We're just gonna go pay F for respects, and this is, oh man, this is suck. Oh, well, that's not quite what I meant. Hold on just a sec. Because, Thieves, if you watched my solo runs, in vanilla, of course, you'll know that playing as solo thief is my favorite way to play Final Fantasy 1. So suck and, lose. Suck and lame. Basically, I have no respect for Final Fantasy 1 Thieves. They are the worst by far. And then Black Belt, well, he's not much better early on, but one day he'll be good. So we got suck, we got lame, we got, you know what? He's kind of the monk, right? Let's just, I don't want to spend too much time here. Alright, F for respect, suck, lame, and monk. Alright, good enough. Let's see what we get. Here's where the random starts. Well, I mean, you know. Okay, weapons. Well, that is really good. So one of my worries was we had very little healing, like no healing. But we've got Cure 4 staff. That's not going to make the game easy, but it will definitely help out with long dungeons. But basically, once we can afford this, we have infinite full heals in combat. And if I remember correctly, Cure 4 will also cure poison? It's like all status and full health. So that's good. We've got a couple weapons for early game that will at least let us do some damage. Because I can't use magic, we're going to need to buy a bunch of this stuff. This one, not so good. It's probably the Bane Sword, so it's probably good for damage, like to equip. But not... Block 2, I don't think does anything, like like spell-wise, that doesn't really matter. That's pretty good. It's very, very expensive. But we can definitely get the best armor in the game for the fighter, or knight. I don't think the ninjas can equip this, but if they could, that'll be awesome. I bet you they can't. But on the off chance you can have 3 people with dragon armor, that'd be amazing. The thieves can definitely equip silver armor, so that's good. And then the gold bracelet. This is actually a really good weapon armor shop early on, so nothing wrong with those. Magic. What is this? All cure magic at level 1? So we will have a knight that has Cure 4, I think. It depends on what slots. I never memorize what slots the fighter or the knight can learn. But theoretically, at the very least, Cure 3, but he might have Cure 4 as well. And Invisibility 2 is not a bad spell either, actually. Buffing your evasion against tough bosses is totally good. Okay, cool. And finally, Black Magic. So, sure, no nuke, but if we started with a Black Mage or a Red Mage with Fire 3, again, the game would be very easy. Also, having Quaker or something, like, actually, I'd rather Fire 3 was not here, and you had to play the early game with insta-death spells that I never use, because they'd be pretty cool. If you started at a level 1 slots with all poison death or all earth death, insta-death, that'd be kind of neat. Anyway, we need to win these first rounds, so what are we going to do? The hand axe is cheap, so we're going to buy one of those, so we've got somebody that can do some damage. I don't think the thieves can equip it, so I had to try just to find out. So anyway, the fighter's gonna do most of the damage early on. Man, these thieves, 2 damage, eh? Same as black belt at level 1. I know the black belts can use wooden nunchucks. It's basically free, so you can take that. I think the thieves can use sabers, but we just don't have the money. I wonder if they can wear, it's possible they can use nunchucks as well. I don't know. This is the kind of thing I would never test out in a vanilla game, so you just buy rapiers for everyone. Alright, so at least the monk can maybe kill an imp. The fighter can kill an imp, no problem. The thieves are going to be useless. There's very little cheap armor, so early game armor is going to be hard. Once we can buy some silver armor, the fighter and the thieves will be okay. And I'll probably get a copper bracelet for the monk. Okay, Also, probably worth checking the item shop. Well, easy promotions once we have the airship. You just buy it. And yeah, like I've said, I think every time I've played this game, the randomizer, we've always started with pures and softs in the first town. So that's good. Alright, well, let's go. Maybe I'll save it, just in case we run into cremate imps. Because we're not re-rolling. We get what we get. And if we get wiped out, we're going to have to find a way to overcome. And it might take some work. Honestly, if we can't beat the first fight, we might have some problems. So we got chance to strike first, which makes things always a bit happier. I don't expect the thieves are going to kill anything. With 2 damage, basically. Fighter will be fine. Black belt, probably fine. And of course, the enemies all have random stats as well. So the imps traditionally have 8 HP, I think. But they could have anywhere between like 5 and 15 or something with random. So they didn't do any specials. They just did a regular physical attack. They also didn't do 20 damage in physical. So we're off to a pretty good start. One good battle should give us a ton of experience early on, which should get us through some of the early pains. Now, one bug, as my voice cracks, one bug that was fixed in the patch, your monk will automatically gain absorb damage bonuses every level up. There used to be a bug where you had to basically unequip armor or weapons to reset his stats after a level up. It was kind of weird. I forget all the details, but apparently they fixed that, so his stats will work properly automatically when he level ups. So he's got more absorb now than anyone else, just by getting his level ups. That's pretty cool, right? And eventually we will unequip the wooden nunchucks because he'll out-damage it. He actually gets twice as many attacks with his hands because he has 2 hands. But 6 is still considerably less than, even 6 times 2 is considerably less than nunchucks. So let's do another battle. We'll probably be able to kill Chaos, or not Chaos, we'll probably be able to fight Ganon. Some boss, you know, whatever his name is. We'll probably be able to fight Garland fairly soon. I expect the fighter will be able to wipe him out without too much trouble. We did start with better weapons than a rapier. The hand axe is usually a second town weapon. So the fact that we started the game with that is pretty good. I'm going to try one more fight for the level up. Let's put Suck at the bottom, because he's going to die if he gets hit again. As serves him right. I just don't have to pay to revive him. With 2 thieves, it would probably be easier if I just killed them both and we had double experience, but we're not going to do that. You do know that your experience gains are split amongst party members, so if you kill a couple, or leave them dead, as the death music signifies, the rest of the team actually grows quicker. But I'm going to be running this, you know, without using exploits for the Let's Play. Plus, eventually the thieves will be okay. It's just going to take a while. Alright, so that'll do for levels. Let's see. One good thing is the party will have a lot of HP. All characters have pretty good HP growth here. Thieves, not great, but that should work. So we've got 1,200 gold. If I want to fight Garland, it would be nice to have a saving item. There's no tents or cabins, which kind of sucks. We're going to buy, at the very least, some heals, because we need a way to heal on the fly. With no white mages for now. And I want to have like a couple cure poison just in case we get hit by something bad. So buy a few pures and then the rest of the money can go to weapons. Hopefully I saved enough. I'd like to at least have sabers. I forget, it's probably better than the hand axe, but I always forget the exact stats on these things. So 27, 24... it's definitely not as good. So hand axe is slightly better than the saber, 3 damage more, same hit rate. So if assuming the thieves can equip it, which is a jump. Okay, good. So now the thieves will have almost as much damage as the fighter, which is pretty lucky for Town 1. And I do know that black belts can equip almost nothing. Wooden nunchucks, iron nunchucks, and a couple staves, and that's it. So, with that, Suck and Lame are up to 17 damage. I said almost as good as the fighter. That was not even close. They have no strength. They're so far behind. Alright, so that's as good as weapons as we can do. Let's check armor, maybe. I guess I could get caps. 1 absorb? Is that worth spending some money? I don't know. I guess it's better than nothing. Hopefully we'll find a treasure chest that has a lot of money in it, and we'll be able to buy the silver armor fairly quickly, because that's definitely going to be our only access to absorb early on. And one absorb is not much. Oddly enough, the monk is the most defensive character. So the biggest weakness here is we're going after Garland without a way to save before we fight him. Not being able to buy tents early on is kind of rude, actually. That's definitely going to... Depending on the random encounters, right? If we run into something with powerful attacks, this could actually be kind of problematic. But we'll see what happens. At least we have a pretty physical party. Now that we all have weapons for everyone, groups of imps should go down pretty easily. Depends on what the other enemies have, though, so... We've only seen one enemy type, and they haven't used nuke on us yet, but we'll see what the great gray imps, or the, see, there's mad ponies, there's skeletons, there's arachnid spider things, there's... wolves, theoretically, are up here. Alright, usually you'd use a tent. Let's check the treasure before we fight Garland, because Garland will teleport us out, basically. Ghouls will have a special attack, or at least they might. Probably would. Alright, physical damage is carrying us. It's not as good as Nuke, but it'll do. Iron Staff, so technically an upgrade, I think. What was I looking at here? 16 and 17... Technically. Alright, now we've got some zombies. Another very low, a very low HP enemy, but theoretically could have, you know, status attacks, or like any of these enemies could have status attacks or special abilities and spells and stuff. Like Glare. That's great. So creeps are going to be fun. So we've got an early game enemy with instant death attack. That's fun. Bunch of money and a pro ring. Alright, well that will protect us from instant death attacks. Although Glare might count as stone. Like it might not be death element, in which case that wouldn't actually work. For now, let's give it to one of the thieves, I guess. We'll give it to the fighter once he's alive. Assuming I get out of here. Let's just, oh, we can't even run! So it's an unrunnable fight against enemies that have instant death attacks. That's pretty bad luck! Well... This is the randomizer for you. Oh, and Blizzard. Alright, we don't want to fight creeps. Wow. Unrunnable. Basically, Blizzard is the Frost Dragon attack. Oh, that's bad. Alright, well, none of the chests... I mean, the pro ring and the money I would like. But all we're going to do is try to kill Garland and see what key items we get. Because we can't... Oh, and imps or creeps are everywhere around the Dwarf Cave and Elfland. Oh, this is gonna be tough, especially with no tents to save as we go. Now, in this area, the Chaos Shrine, creeps are usually a very rare encounter, but maybe not with the randomizer. Anyway, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to kill Garland easy enough. We'll go back for that pro ring later if I feel brave. Sleep attack, cool. So instead of just using nuke to one-shot things, we'll actually get a chance to see the enemy's specials more often. Hey, we got him, no big deal. Still doesn't have enough stats to put up too much of a fight. Alright, Bones. Theoretically could have different attacks or abilities. What was that? It definitely had a status effect, but nothing that's visibly... I don't know. I'm still playing it in double speed just to save time, but... Anyway, Garland is down. Let's get out of here. Get our first items. The loot. Oh, how convenient. Just like usual. Is this not a randomizer run? And the ship. Cool. Alright, we have a different outro to the early game. So instead of the canoe into floater, we get the ship right away. Cool. Alright, so it's a little bit different. That's what I was hoping for. Should I try to get that pro ring? I don't think it's worth going back anywhere with creeps right now. We're gonna save the game, of course. I need to find somewhere that sells tents, and then we'll go back for the pro ring and the money. So luckily, the ship will let me get around between the first few towns without being killed by creeps. And that's, let's go talk to Matoya first. I know the shops are probably more interesting because of weapons and armor, but Matoya's got free items, so let's go up here. I don't think you should run into creeps on this path, although it's possible. I really hope the randomizer gives us a run where basically, instead of getting the airship, we have to do a whole bunch of sailing around, just because we did basically no ocean battles at all last run. They've also added in the randomizer open world mod, there are ship landing spots on the northern continent now, which usually you could only dock the ship at either a river, like these rivers, or you know, a proper port. But now there's also ports in the northern continents to open up some more open world exploration. So I thought that was kind of cool. I have not had a chance to see it actually work though. Okay, well the giant staff should be an upgrade for the fighter. Yeah, actually a really good upgrade. Yeah, I think we saw last Let's Play, the giant sword was actually pretty good early game when you're used to having rapiers and hand axes. So that's a good catch. Assuming we can get out of here. Ogres! Now, if it wasn't for the randomizer at this point in the game, I would think 2 ogres was fine, but we'll see. 7 damage is not going to work. They started with 100 in the vanilla version, which is exactly what the giant sword... Actually, they might be weak to the giant sword, depending on if that bug has been fixed or not. It's fairly likely the fighter is doing bonus damage to giant-type enemies. So that actually is really lucky. Originally, ogres were like your best money makers early on, so a double ogre fight this early on was great for being able to buy stuff. In the randomizer, it's less important, but still doesn't hurt. 229 damage crit. That giant sword, good catch. Alright, I'm glad we went to Matoya's cave. Sharks are also slightly stronger than ogres, but one is not as bad. Not bad, not bad. We're gonna go back to Corneria and heal up. And maybe we'll go deal with a pirate fight, or try the pirate fight, just to get another key item to see what we can get easily. I don't really want to go to the dwarf cave early on. Oh, I've got money. Let's buy some basic... Well, I could save my money. No, we're taking a lot of damage. Let's buy some silver armor. At least for the fighter, because he takes a lot of hits, and he needs some absorption. That's his deal. That's so much better early on. I'm also going to buy it for the thieves, because honestly, they're not going to get much better than silver, other than really expensive gold. So let's just get the cheap armor. I don't think the black belt can equip silver armor, even if you wanted to. Although I'll test it. No. But this should give us... Wait. Thieves can't even equip... Thieves are so bad! Someone was yelling at me. Blue, don't waste your money. They can't equip it anyway. That was disappointing. Alright, so... Everything is terrible. Copper bracelets it is. Copper bracelets everyone can equip. And they give you 4 absorb. So the black belt's better off without them already. Okay, well... So yeah, I was giving you lies. I thought for sure. Silver armor is one of those items... It's less absorption than iron armor, it's just lighter. I thought for sure that would be thief armor. Ah, well. Let's go deal with the pirates and then we'll probably end the episode. Or, I say, try. Nice stretch of no random encounters there. Alright, welcome to Provoca, Portland, Oregon. We're going to check the shops first, just for interest's sake. Not that we can really use the magic. Fade at level 2. So again, your white-red mages would just rock the house. You start with Fire 3 and Fade, you're good. And, Lightning 2 at level 2 is still pretty good. Alright, what do we get for cool weapons? We get the Sun Sword, the Flame Sword, the Dragon Sword, and another staff that doesn't really matter. Unfortunately, the item staffs are kind of our only access to magic, so I was hoping that we would find, like, a nuke staff, because that'd be pretty cool. Or at least like a fire too, because we don't have an easy way to kill groups of enemies. So I think the Sun Sword is the best value here. Not that I can afford it, but I believe the Sun Sword does the most damage of all of these. Giant, Flame, Dragon, and Sun. Dragon might do bonus damage to dragons. Fire might do bonus damage to enemies weak to fire. Maybe. Don't count on it. It just depends on if the randomizer fixed the bugs. Now, the fighter... I'm pretty sure an unpromoted fighter can equip the Sun Sword. And I know they can definitely equip the Flame and Dragon. I don't think the Thief can equip any of them, though. So, if you're a Thief lover... Maybe the Dragon Sword. If I make a bunch of money, I'll test it out. But... Actually, they might be able to equip the Dragon Sword. I'm trying to remember my Thief run. It's possible it's possible that they can equip the Dragon Sword. Pro Capes for sale. That's very fortunate. It's usually limited to 2 per game. We can buy 4 if we want. Unfortunately, Protective Capes don't give you death protection like the Pro Rings do. So it's not as good. Also, Iron Armor right away is better. So, quite a lot of options here. We're going to go for the value purchases. Because they're cheap. And I'll probably buy the Silver Gauntlets for the fighter eventually. Oh, right. No. So the Silver Armor that I just bought has got no use. We already replaced it. I thought the Thieves would be able to use it, but that was apparently not the truth. So anyway, the Iron Armor gives you more defense anyway. And our fighter now should be not immune to damage, but very, very durable for melee, like physical combat. We get cabins, so now we can save it on the fly, and we don't really need houses in this run because we don't have magic, so... Cabins are good because you can save it. Let's deal with the pirates, though, if we can. Figured I should probably save it just in case they're nuke pirates, but no. Unless you turn the unsafe pirates flag on, I don't think they completely randomize them. They should never start this fight with nuke, basically. You shouldn't see cremating pirates or blizzard pirates in the randomizer unless you click the box for unsafe pirates. And if we fought 9 pirates that had blizzard, the same as the creeps, I don't think this party could win. We'd have to buy the sleep staff, so we'd have to grind for money, buy the sleep staff, and hope that we could put them all to sleep before they got a chance to cast Blizzard or Nuke or, whatever. Because as long as they have like an end game spell, they could wipe our party out in 1 turn, so. Anyway, that fight was easy again, as it should be. We did not die, video game music. We got the Oxy Ale, so that doesn't really help us anytime soon, but essentially access to the Water Shrine when we want to. And some more money. We're gonna need a lot of money to actually buy the weapons I want. Gold bracelets are for sale. Protective capes, I sure hope the thieves can equip those, because that would give them something. Nothing else really to buy, though, here. I'm almost 100% sure thieves can't equip iron armor. If they can't equip silver armor, there's no way they can equip iron. Well, let's call that an episode here. We did a pretty good first start. 30 or so minutes is kind of my goal. Next episode, we'll check out Elfland very carefully, and we'll check out the Dwarf Cave very carefully. Beware of creeps, everyone. Thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed, and see you next time for more randomized Final Fantasy!